Hello, welcome back to Monsters of the Mic, episode 25. We come to you in a different episode this week, right? Where no Bears playing, no specifically talking about game breakdown or things like that, but we still want to be here and talk about things. Mondo and I have a pretty kind of nice kind of structure this episode. But before I want to go into there, something that I wanted just to quickly touch on was last Saturday I was at that Derrick Rose retirement jersey game, and let me tell you, man, let me tell you, I bawled for a good 25 minutes. I sat there in my seat. It was silent, ugly crying too. I will admit, as a grown man, it was silent, ugly crying.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro, and I'll tell you why. I'll spend like a minute or two on this really quickly. Then we can go into our football discussion about our Bears stuff and things like that. But
Mhm.
I didn't give a f about football. I mean basketball growing up. Like as I saw in the pilot, right? Like football and baseball are my love. Those are my hearts. But Derrick Rose really got me into basketball, right? And just to kind of watch him bring the city and things like that, and just being a kid, right, a kid from Inglewood, and to kind of go through what he went through, and to kind of rise up the rank, youngest MVP, right? And like the Bulls did just a great job, man, on that thing. And I think that's what it was, right? Like I went with your cousin Mikey, right? Shout out to him for giving me the extra ticket, right? We thought it was going to be at halftime, right? A very short thing. It wasn't. It was after the game was over, right? And
Yeah.
it was this whole 20-minute just thing of just like his video and like what he's been through, his parents, like talking about his come up. And I just, yeah, I don't know why. It hit me. Like he was the one sports figure. And like, a lot of people are just like, why did the Bulls retire him? He didn't win a championship for him. This and that. If you're not from Chicago, you don't get it. Like you truly do not get the impact this man, right? He was a kid coming into the league when we watched him, and this man, now 37 years old, had an impact on this city, right? Like this city basketball wise was not like this until the Jordan era, right? And
hmm
seeing Taj Gibson there and seeing Joakim Noah and Luol Deng kind of give these speeches, right? It was just like it was, and I think the reason why I got so emotional for me, it was closing of a chapter, right? It was
Right.
closing of a chapter on, and yes, he's gonna be there. And every time I go to the UC, if I have kids and I go there, I'd be like, yeah, I was there. I was at that day when they retired number one as a Bull, right? And then, yeah, I just as a Chicago fan, right? Like it was just something that was like, holy shit, right? And then I looked to your cousin. I'm like, we'll be there when number 18's retired in the Bears. You know what I mean? That's our
Damn.
next thing. That's
Damn.
our next thing. You know what I mean?
That
uh,
that just hit a little harder.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so, yeah. I wanted to touch on that. You know, it was a magical moment. It was a very emotional moment. I think it was the entire. It was a nice kind of close on kind of the chapter of that era of basketball for 8 years.
Right. Yeah, the 2010s. It was magical for sure.
It was, but yeah, I just wanted to give a quick little synopsis on that. But as we've discussed, I think we're gonna talk a little bit about our really early kind of just what we want the Bears to do, off season, preseason stuff. I mean, yeah, off season mostly stuff. So I don't know what you got and what you kind of want. Your thoughts first on that.
Yeah, so I guess I was kind of going through like Spot Rack, right? For those
Mm.
that don't know, Spot Rack is where you can search up like the active cap for each NFL team. I think you can do it like for anything, right?
Oh, nice.
MLB, NHL, yeah. Um, so I was just interested to see like who's the biggest cap hit, what like who can get moved around, who's more likely to get moved around.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, DJ is the highest cap hit at 28 mil.
Um,
Um, so that's a red flag there. Um, Especially just before the role that he's in.
yeah, absolutely.
I think that they're more likely to gamble on like their young talent and trade him maybe for like a Kayvon Thibodeau or Max Crosby. Maybe you could bundle something for
Right,
Miles Garrett.
right.
Like that's kind of what I've been looking into right now. Like just who's a trade candidate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Mm-hmm.
like what do we really need? So I think for sure like safeties, you have to re-sign like Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker. I would choose Kevin Byard though. I like
Yeah.
Brisker.
Yeah, and I would
Uh,
agree with you on that. That was my top thing is safeties, right? Like think Jonathan Owens, if you sign him on a small contract, and it's what he's been anyway. He's been a small role, small contract guy anyway. Like he's not like, for example, a Nashawn Wright who's gonna go get his bag. Like he's gonna go get a bag somewhere. Like he had a great enough season where he's gonna go get a bag somewhere. I don't think the Bears will give him unless he
No,
takes a
yeah,
small, unless he takes small, right? He's like, I'll sign 1 year deal with you guys. Who the hell knows, right? But
yeah.
I think you're right, 100%. You got to keep one, Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker, and I'm inclined to agree with you right now that the Bears are keeping Al Harris, right? Because the Packers signed the other defensive coordinator, right? And we're keeping Al Harris. Kevin Byard thrived in that, right? And Jaquan did not play a lot of the season, right? And it's not even this season alone. It's been an injury
It's a
concern for a
couple of
while.
seasons,
Yeah.
yeah. And that honestly, that's kind of really the biggest thing. That was my biggest thing with Brisker because he like, and not that he's a bad player. I think when he's on the field, he is a great player. Like he's
Mm,
really good. It's just that you
mm.
can't. Do you really want to tie your money into that risk of him getting hurt again? Like history is telling you, it's not a really good bet. So you could find
Yeah.
another safety.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
can
like
find one, you can draft one, like you know what I mean, like whatever it is. But I think Kevin Byard stays because I think of his leadership at his role, and just you didn't have to really worry about him back there, right? Like the liability was right.
right.
Jaquan Brisker, Jonathan Owens, and Elijah Hicks, right? Like Kevin Byard was fine. Like yeah, he's on the older side of 31 or 32, but you can sign him to a 3 year deal, right? Like he knows like what he's worth, and he knows that he's not going to get a 5 year $90 million contract at his age. Like that
Exactly.
that is
Yeah.
that's a guarantee, right? So and I think he wants to continue to play with Dennis Allen, right? So I'm 100%. I know sometimes we don't agree on a lot of things, right? But like I'm 100% agreeing on that Kevin Byard over Jaquan Brisker but you're right. Jaquan in that playoff game against the Rams stepped up in the big game, but like, bro, I need that for 17 games. I don't need that
Ex
for one game.
it's nice that it was in a huge game, but yeah,
Sure.
you need it. You need consistency. And Kevin
Agreed.
Byard, I mean, he is that consistency.
Agreed.
Um,
And then hopping on the DJ Moore thing, I've been I've been big on trading him for a while. I like DJ. He's a big guy. He's a tough guy, right? But you know what I mean? Like we talk about trading him. Like, listen, I think the Bears are gonna go after Trey Henderson because he is a free agent. We don't have to trade anything. We don't have to give up anything for him, right? I think he's officially a free agent now. Um, but if you can sign him, and you're right, do we package something for Miles, right? Or do we package something for right Taylor Thibodeau, right? Because I honestly think right, Max Crosby wants out, and I would love to have Max Crosby on that team, on our team, because you have we agreed on this. I think Mendoza's going number 1 overall to the Raiders. Like that is just a for surefire shot, right?
yep,
Fired their coach. You're gonna bring in a new head coach. I don't know if they bring a new head coach in yet. I'm not really sure if they brought in one yet or not.
they haven't.
They
My
haven't.
my prediction is Clint Kubiak from the Seahawks, but
That's not a bad. Yeah, yeah. I
we'll
mean,
see.
that's
Yeah,
fair. That's fair. That's fair. Right. So like, right. So
yeah.
like, you bring in a offensive guy, right? This and the other, and then you really don't have a number 1 receiver. You have Brock Bauer, hell of a play. You got Anston Genty, a good running back, but you gotta get a receiver to throw to, right? So and Crosby wants out of there. So I think you're right. Maybe you package DJ, take that hit, or right because him and Crosby's contracts are somewhat similar. I think Crosby is a little bit more richer. I think it is, but like you can restructure that when you sign him over here.
hmm Well, either way, if you keep DJ, you're gonna have to restructure his, maybe Montez. Like I would say those two are kind of the
Yeah,
ones you would need to restructure in order to create room for this year because they're over the cap as of right now.
sure.
Over the cap by 9, I think it's 9 mil.
Okay. Okay.
So it's not horrible, but um like I said, that's an area. Sticking to the defensive side, I would say, Tremaine. I like Tremaine. I like TJ. TJ's coming off that injury. You're gonna have to find a suitable replacement, either
Agreed.
through the draft or free agency. Um, I think TJ's the more likely to get replaced than
Really, I think actually Tremaine Edmonds might be a victim of the salary cap, like casualty.
I I could see it. I Tremaine has a higher salary. Yeah, he's got a higher cap hit.
He
I
does, you know what I mean? But go ahead.
well, if you cut him, like what happened? Let me see. See, it's a dead cap of like 2 mil. and he has a cap hit of 17. So it's
Right.
like
It's $15 million. It's 15
it's
million, 15
15.
million difference.
Yeah.
You know what I
So
mean?
yeah. See, like that could he could be a cap casualty.
You know,
And he's a good player. Like
he's a good player. He's a great player, right? And I think, and I think you're right. Like if I had to choose between those two, and I've been on this since TJ got hurt, I think the defense played a lot better with TJ out,
without TJ. Yeah.
right? Was it with Jackson in there that replaced him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Jackson played fantastic against the Rams, and I thought my one concern right against the Rams when we had that episode right when we discussed it was I thought that linebackers were going to get burnt. I was proven wrong. I was proven wrong, right? Like I was 100%. So like I think you're right. I think if you really want to sit there and continue to build that defense, right, you would keep Tremaine Edmonds, right? That's 100%. He's a young guy, and I think they keep Tremaine Edmonds. I really do. I think Swift is gone. I think Swift is gone. He had the best year, and then I know this one hurts as much as I hurt. I think Komet is also gone as well.
Komet I can see. I I think it kind of depends on Ben for that one
That's
because
fair. That's fair.
Komet and Loveland, they're both I would say they're both really good run blockers. So who's he gonna
Mhm.
replace Komet with? Like that's kind of something you got to think about.
No, that's a fair thought. Yeah, I
Um,
was more looking at the dead space, but you're right. He likes to run a lot of 12 packages, so that would make sense.
yeah. Definitely DeAndre, like Swift, I could 100% see it.
I think he's
Uh,
gone. I think yes, he had his best season under us, and he was utilized, but he's just not that type of running back they need in this. Right? He didn't look for contact, right? Like Manungai is that, right? And there's gonna be another good running back draft class, pretty solid, right? But also
and
Stewart's
free
out there too,
agency.
and for agency, right? So
Yeah.
I think 100% John just with his gone. Even though he had a good season, he had some great games. He had, you know what I mean. He had, him and Manungai together had a fantastic stretch, right? Third overall rushing. You know what I mean. But I think that you give that a lot of credit to that. The offensive line was fantastic all year. But yeah, I think 100% DeAndre is gone. I do think right. I think you're right. Brisker is gone, which is sad 'cause I really like Brisker. I like the way he plays.
Yeah.
But the linebacker position is going to be an interesting kind of thing to fill. Like, what are we going to do with the linebackers, right?
Exactly, because well, TJ's the play caller on that side. So
Very true. Very
like
true.
is Dennis Allen gonna want to get rid of his play caller? He's got Jackson on the
Right.
you could
Right.
re-sign Jackson. You could I doubt Tremaine's gonna, make the calls on that side. Um yeah,
Yeah. Go
no, yeah, like that I agree. That position is like I have no idea what they're gonna do there.
Yeah, and I think with TJ Wright and Ozzy Chapilla, right, even though he's a rookie, they're in IR, so I think they're okay for now, like that. But you're right, like they need to clear 18 million in the cap space before March 11th, right, to get under the
Mm,
cap, right? Like that's
yeah,
really difficult. And if you do give up, right, was it Tremaine, right? Like that's the 15. That's 15 of the 18 right there.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That
And it
that
sucks to
clears
see
it
him
up.
go. It fucking sucks because I was so excited when they signed him from Buffalo. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like he hasn't produced like it did in Buffalo. Like he really hasn't, in my eyes at least. And once again, right, we talked about how the defense was struggling because of all the injuries, and yes, like it was a lot harder when teams were breaking into the secondary a lot more. Like we can make those stuff, but like for the money that you're getting and not producing, like and more importantly, right, like you let right Roquan Smith walk because you wanted a linebacker that can turn over the ball. Jermaine Edmonds hasn't really turned over the ball either.
Yeah. Well, he was a good fit, I would say, under Eberflus, but
Fair, a hundred
uh,
percent. But Dennis Allen,
and,
he plays fast.
yeah, he plays fast.
You
Um,
know.
yeah, so we'll see what happens there. This is the most interesting
Hmm.
position in my opinion, the D line. So you still have Dio, and this is kind of why I think I don't know if they can make a trade for like a Max Crosby or one of these guys. Because you still have Dial, you're paying him 20 mil. If you cut him, dead cap is 22. So he's obviously going to stay on the team. Montez, 25 mil. If you cut him, it says 8 million cap hit. So you save over 15, something like that.
Right, right.
Grady Jarrett, another one. Like they've really spent on the defensive line. They just haven't hit.
You're right. You're right. and it hasn't hit right. And I think with Grady Jarrett, right, he's been hurt, but once he was in there, those last last 5 or 6 games, he was making a huge difference.
Yeah.
When he was healthy,
Yeah,
he wasn't getting sacks, but he was
he's
opening up for
creating
Monty.
havoc.
Yes,
Yeah.
creating, and that's what you want, right? So like I think Grady Jarrett's gonna be fine, right? Like we know what we signed him for. It wasn't a every down defensive end, defensive lineman. It was, hey, get in there third downs or play 65% like he did in Atlanta of the
Hmm.
snaps and go out there and get it, right?
Yeah.
But you're right, like those are gonna be huge because honestly, like I think you and I mentioned this, right? Is like we need pressure on the quarterback, right? Like
Yeah.
offensively, moves wise, the offensive line is healthy, right? You might have to go sign, right? Someone to replace Ozzie Trapillo. Fine, right? Braxton Jones back. Do you give him another chance? Who knows, right? Maybe another running back. What do you do with DJ? But offensively, most of the pieces are there, right? Most of the pieces
Right.
are there, right? You got Luther, you
Yeah.
got Rome, you got Loveland, you got Komet, right? You got even Smite, right? Who's a good run blocker too. Is it Drew Smite? Yeah, Drew Smite, right? You got
Yeah.
your offensive line, right, working. So like what is the defense going to happen? And it was crazy. Like you spent a lot of money, right, on the offensive end. Like, do we do this on the defensive end? But you got to make cuts. And I think it's. I know Paul's going back to Kevin Byard. Paul's wants to sign Kevin Byard back. Like he wants to bring him back,
Yeah.
which is huge.
He said it in his press conference.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
like
right. You know what I mean?
that's his yeah, that's his priority.
So like I think these are important things. But like yeah, like it's going to be very interesting because at the end of the day, right, it's what Ben Johnson wants. What does Ben Johnson want, and what does he need?
Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, that's why I think Ben is gonna play a heavy role in all of this because especially with specifically with DJ, I think I can like he is like I said, he's definitely a trade candidate. I wonder if, you know, if we do get rid of DeAndre, like do we go out? Do we try and get a Kenny Walker? Do we get a um oh my God, there's another guy on the
Oh, there
market
was
that's
rumors of
gonna
Travis Etienne being a free
but
agent, right? Do we sign
Travis
Travis Etienne?
Etienne, like that's kind of a nice fit for this offense.
And I
So
would like him because I like Travis because I Clemson guys, so I've watched him since Clemson, right? Like he doesn't shy away from contact.
no.
You know
And
what I mean?
he's got a burst too, man. Like
Yeah, absolutely. And you have him and Monangai, like that's huge.
hmm
You know
That's
what I
it's
mean?
an upgrade from Swift for sure. Yeah. Um yeah, like those I do think, in the draft you're gonna have to, you know, maybe draft a center or draft a guard. Some of these guys, Tooney's 34, right? Jonah Jackson has an injury history in the past. So does Drew
But Jonah
Dalman.
Jackson
Like
stayed healthy this year. I got to admit that.
I oh yeah, no, you're right. He did. He did. But
And
like
you're right. That was
year
the
over
concern that
year,
I had too, right? With the Rams when they signed him and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, another injury prone guy. He played, I don't know, he played
he
like over 90% of the snaps. So like, I can't complain about that. You know what I mean?
right? Like, and yeah, exactly. But I mean, like year over year,
Oh,
you
for sure.
just
Absolutely. Absolutely.
just to stay prepared, because you just never know what could happen. But you're right. Obviously need a left tackle because Ozzy, unfortunately, is likely gone for most, if not like the entire year. So
Yeah, he's and like I told you, like my brother was telling me like that injury all depends on what they do to his knee, right? Like, is there a plate in his knee? Is there, whatever it might be, and that's gonna impact it. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, like Ozzy's, what do you do with Ozzy, right? Like, do you risk it on Braxton Jones, right? Or do you sign someone in the draft for, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and speaking of the draft per se, right? Like, I think we have the 25th pick in the draft, which is really nice to have one outside of the top 10 for once in the fucking last couple years, right? But I think 100% they go for a defensive player in that draft. And I want the one guy, right, that since we're talking about stuff and predicting this too, like I want Caden McDonald of Ohio State. Like that is my guy. Him or Caleb Banks of Florida. Like those two guys are two of my favorite guys coming from that pick, right? Like obviously, right, the big guys are gonna go in the top 10, right? They're going to the top 15, whatever it might be. But those two guys, like McDonald from OSU, that D tackle, that their defense this year played on a historic damn level, right? Like I know they ended up losing right to Miami, but they only let up 13 points to Indiana, right? They only lost 13 to 10 to Indiana. You
weren't
know what
they
I
a
mean?
top? Yeah, weren't they a top
They
defense?
were a top
Yeah.
defense all across the line, right? And
Mm.
like that guy would be a major, major freaking upgrade because he's an elite run stopper and a powerful interior presence. And that's what we need, right? We need guys in the interior to make the to collapse the pocket and to make the quarterback very uncomfortable. And I think he can do it. Or Caleb Binks from Florida can also be. Those are my two guys that pre early. I know we're only in about to be in February. The draft ain't until April, right? So we still got 2 months, but like. So things to start to think about, right? And I think those two guys are on my list. If right, they go defense. Who the hell knows, right? Ben Johnson might be like, "Fuck it, I want my more offense." I don't know.
Another offense. Got it. No, I think just looking at both sides of the ball, yeah, you gotta go defense, man. Like that's where we need the
Mhm.
most help. And it's
Right?
like especially young help, like
Correct.
to get a core together. Because we have it on offense. It's just now it's, solidifying on the defensive side.
And another thing we can do too that I've been seeing that kind of got me excited, but I'm not really sure if this is going to happen because of the cap space, right? Is the Bears can and possibly will go after John Franklin Myers, right? The defensive tackle slash end from the Broncos,
Oh,
right? Because they can afford him. They can actually afford him if they were structured enough, right? You know what I mean? And that would be a
six four,
huge.
288. Oh my God.
He had 14 and a half sacks in the first 2 seasons as Broncos, right? You know what I mean? Like, and he only makes about 7.9 to 8 million a year, right? So like you restructure contracts, you get him, you sign a nice, right? You draft a nice D tackle, like I talked about. You start to fix that defensive line, right?
Yeah.
I'm not really worried about the corners per se. I think the corners have solid. I think Tyreek is blooming into a good player, right, when he's healthy. Kyler Gordon, stay fucking healthy for 1 season, man. Just stay once healthy for 1 season. You know what I mean? But yeah,
This
it's
was the
just
one season though. Well, this was the one season he was like actually gone. And it was unfortunate, because even at 70%, man, that dude,
dude,
he's a baller.
dude.
He,
Like him. I don't know if it was him. I think Jalen was on. Right, 'cause you have also Jalen Johnson too. So like you have Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon. Like your corners are. Yes, you might have to sign a slot, right, or a nickel. Like that's fine. But like, yeah, I think you are 100% right. I think defensive end and safeties are our biggest concern. And where do you do restructuring contracts, right? Like, and I think everything we've talked about so far up today like, is very plausible. It just, I think, once again, obviously polls. Listen, I like him. He hit money on this last draft, right? He's
yeah.
hit picks, but bro, Ben had made such a big influence on this draft class, right? Obviously, right? I know I was a little bit opposed of Loveland, right? But I understand it now. I get why, right? We picked him. I understand why, why he was drafted 10th overall. Luther Burden, right? Ozzy Trapilla, right? I gave him so much shit, right? But the big thing is like
Yep.
you cannot take these cute picks like Ruben Hippolyte, right? Like where the fuck was he all season? I know he was a rookie, right? But like he's a smaller size linebacker, right? Like we don't draft fucking special teamers in the fourth round, Ryan Bowles. Those are people that make impacts on your team.
Right. That's a project. Like you need guys, you need depth. Like
Right. And you have
get
Caleb for another, what, 3 years on his rookie contract. You could pick, what, 3 years with the option. Like, this is your chance. This 3 year window, right, to get to the Super Bowl, to possibly win a
Mhm.
title without having to pay Caleb, because we all know Caleb's going to be close to 200 million probably, because as long as he keeps progressing the way we think he's going to progress, he's gonna
Yeah.
want a lot of
He's
money, and it's fair.
yeah.
You
Yep.
know,
I no, I totally agree. I think yeah, like the I think something like the fourth round punter that we took a couple of years ago, like that was kind of stupid, thinking that this team was, ready to go, but
right.
like that's it's just things like that, like you gotta understand, never think your roster is completely done, like look at what Howie does. Howie, he does. I he moves off of guys at least 1 year early you
Right.
know, before they can hurt the team you
hmm
know,
But
versus
even look at Lynch and the 49ers.
the same thing. Yeah, like they do a great job drafting. They find depth. They can't,
Yeah.
for the life of them, they cannot figure out special teams. I and maybe it's because they have so many superstars.
Right, fair enough. They're like, oh, maybe we take an L on here while everything else is fine, right? And I can get
Yeah,
that, right? When you have and obviously, right, we know about that team, right? The defense was right. If that defense was good and healthy, you lost, Frederick Warner, who's probably top five defensive player in the league, right? So,
yeah,
like, you're right. Like, you look at those managers and those GMs and what they do. It's like, Paul's like, we can't get cute. Like you saw this team went 11-5, won a division, beat their arch rivals, was very close to getting to the NFC Championship, right? And the first year head coach, like nothing cute. Just stay the course and listen to what Ben Johnson wants. Like you got an extension with Ben Johnson for a reason.
Yep.
He and I told you this. Right, I made a joke right when we talked about right after that loss against the Rams. Like I guarantee you, Ben went to him. He's like, "This is what I want." I guarantee he's like, "This is what I'm thinking. This is what I want. Make those moves." I
Hmm.
Ben is a psychopath, and I guarantee you he did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm no, yeah, like they're probably working together right now and trying to figure that out, as well
Right.
as Dennis Allen trying to figure out what they need. Like that's
Hmm.
like I said, the everybody is going to be very they're going to play an integral role to, you know, building up this team once again and just, you know, keeping in mind that yeah, just because you have your core doesn't mean that this is a finished product. Like you got to
Correct.
continue to add to this, add depth, add, you know, find great players where you could find them because that's in the draft is really where you get like the most impact, right?
Absolutely.
Look at our team. Look at us on offense. Like the rookies were the reason why we were good.
Right. And I think right the Bears had the highest ranked rookies in the league, right? It's like 74 point something percent, whatever it was, right off that statistic meter. I can't forget it, right? But like
Yeah,
they had the best rookie class,
yeah, yeah,
right? You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah,
And
and
you build teams with that because guess what? You have rookie classes. You can build that. It gives you right by the time you start to mold by that third or fourth year, they're not rookies anymore. They're grown men in their grown man bodies, and boom, there's your chance, right? Before you got to start dropping you know, hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Like these are your windows, right? So you're 100% like this next draft, right? We talk about the Caleb draft being important. We talked about this last draft being important. This draft is just as important too, right? And we talk about if they go all defense, fuck it, go all defense. I don't care. But like fill your holes, plug in the holes. Is there a chance, right? You may not be able to plug all your holes. Yeah, fine,
yeah,
okay. But like reassure what you need to reassure. That's D line, safeties, and a possible running back, in my opinion.
yeah, yep. I agree. I
But yeah, so like I think early off season stuff. I think we both hit it on the head. I think I think it's going to be interesting what they do, especially when the Super Bowl ending right in a couple weeks. It's going to be really interesting. But I think the next segment Mondo and I want to talk about right as we're doing is we're going to talk about we're going to rank our top fives in these next position in these positions right quarterback, running back, receivers, and tight ends right. And listen, full disclosure, these are our top five from this season alone. So don't get upset or angry of like what are you talking about, why is that person there, this season alone 2025 season, right? So I think we'll start with the tight ends first, right, and we'll move up to tight ends, receiver, running back, and quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to just read out the top five and then from five to first?
Uh, yeah, I just go, well, yeah, go from five to first.
All right, so I have number five, even though he did not play a lot this year, George Kittle at number five. 57 receptions, 628 yards, and seven touchdowns. I was looking at a lot of other tight ends, and I'm looking at like the impact when Kittle was healthy. The guy was a baller out there every single game. I know, like, oh, are you putting a guy who's injury prone up there above Kelsey, above this? No, like, if Kittle stayed healthy, Kittle would have rivaled my number one, which I think you and I have the same number one, which we'll get to that point, right? But like, I think Kittle at number five for me. And I know it sounds crazy. Please shoot me, whatever. But that guy's that good of a tight end, in my opinion.
That is actually kind of crazy just because he was hurt half,
I know, I
if
know, I
not
know.
the entire season. I actually had a rookie here. I had Harold Fannin.
Oh,
Um,
fair.
yeah, I thought he played very well. He took Njoku's job probably
I did not
what
see that
halfway
coming at
into the
all, bro.
season. Yeah, that was it was awesome, and he became a focal point of the offense too. Like that's
Hmm.
that's kind of when I realized like oh like this guy might be good. Um, but yeah, 107 targets. He didn't make it to 1,000 yards, right? 731 reception yards. Averaged 48 yards per game, four touchdowns. Like that's pretty good, you know?
Yeah,
That's
yeah. That's very good, right? And it's funny. Speaking of rookies, at number four, I have our rookie, Colston Loveland, at number four. I have him 58 receptions, right? 713 yards, six touchdowns. And people are like, oh, he also didn't play the first half of the season, but the moment he stepped on that field and he was healthy, complete game changer on every level of it, right? Like he just dominated, right? All facets. Set an NFL rookie record in receiving yards in the first two games as a rookie and a tight end, right? Has a single season, right, with 137, right? So like I put him there right now, obviously not because he's a bear, right? Like, but like I just looking at impact on the field and the importance of like, you know what I mean? And with 58 receptions, he had 713 yards, right? And six touchdowns. Imagine if he had 100 receptions or he had 100 plus targets right in the season, right? Like that number could have been easily over 1,000. 100%. So
Oh,
I have Loveland.
100%.
I have
Yeah.
Loveland at four. I know it sounds crazy, but I think just the impact he had when he was there on the field made a massive change for the Bears this year.
Damn. That that's crazy. I actually had Loveland at 5 with Fannin.
Oh,
Like
fair enough.
it was him, Arande Gadsden. Like those three were kind of
Great rookies. So the tight end
yeah.
position's in good hands.
Yeah, for sure. At 4 I had Dalton Schultz. 82
82.
receptions. Yeah, 106 targets, 777 yards. Um, only 3 touchdowns, but he was definitely again he was probably like the second most targeted on that team instead of Nico, right? Um, so I thought Dalton, you know, there was a lot of injuries this season, so and I don't think anybody really stood out except for one guy, and I think we
Yes.
know exactly who it
We know
is.
who that number one is.
Yeah.
And then, but and speaking of that, right, number three, I have this guy, and he didn't have a lot of touchdowns, right? He only had three touchdowns, but he had 77 receptions and 889 yards, but he was huge for his rookie quarterback. I have Jawan Johnson at number three.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once again, same kind of thing when you talk about right, the Cleveland Browns tight end, right? Like he made a massive impact for that rookie, right? And was a big pivotal part. And I'm sitting there being like, he was healthy, he was durable, he was reliable all season. Yes, his
Mhm.
touchdowns were low, but the Saints didn't really score a lot of touchdowns to begin with, right? But like
Right.
889 yards, 77 receptions, as I said, like, and he was a focal point of that offense. Like, I feel
Mhm.
comfortable. Like, yes, once again, this position was riddled with fucking injuries this season, but I feel comfortable putting him there with who was on the field durability wise.
Right. No, yeah, I like the Juwan Johnson. Like being there that I thought he was close for me.
Sure,
I put Tyler Warren instead. Um,
don't
because
hate it.
the way he came into the league, the way they used him, 76 receptions, 112 targets, 817 yards,
Yeah.
48 yards per game. He's got some rushing yards in there too. Like they were using him in so many different ways, man.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
you're right. I think if Daniel Jones doesn't go down, I think he's
he probably
he's
hits a
break
thousand.
he breaks 1,000. He's in my top five, right? But I think just the decline, and you can sit there and be like, yeah, like the decline happened because Daniel Jones got hurt, and they just not
Yeah,
knocking out Philip Rivers or anybody that they used, but like Daniel
it's
Jones
not
was,
the same.
it's not the same, right? You didn't know the inside outside the offense, right? So I think you know what, I don't hate Tyler Warren there.
Yeah,
Who do you
I'm
got too?
curious. I had Kyle Pitts, man.
Ah, yes, agreed,
Yeah.
agreed. There we go, there we go.
Yeah. This
My
was his
boy
breakout
finally had his
season.
breakout fucking season 5 years after, man.
Yeah, it's about time, man. It's about
Yeah,
time. Dude, 88 receptions, 118 yards. Oh no, 118 targets,
right.
928 yards, 5 touchdowns. Like
Yes,
he was a
yes.
monster, man.
He was a monster. This is what he was supposed to be when he was drafted that high.
Yeah, it only took him, a couple of years, but that's okay.
And I think you and I, it's obviously Trey McBride is number one. I mean,
It's Trey
I mean,
McBride. Yeah.
if anybody
Yeah.
else tries to argue with that, is absolutely insane. 126 receptions, 1,239 yards, 11 touchdowns. The guy literally was a receiver out there, man. Like he is just as a grown man playing the position, man. I'm sorry.
Dude, I actually almost put Dallas Goedert up there because he had 11 touchdowns,
Fair.
but
That's fair.
I I was like, I think the yardage is what like kind of I was like, I can't do it. He was only at
Mhm.
591, so
And yes, you can sit there and be like, well, obviously it's because Jacoby Brissett fed him. The man was still open all the damn time. I don't care that he got the ball 126 receptions.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, dude, he's a target machine,
he's a
man.
target, right? Like he is a target machine, and he's so smart. I know he's still young, right? But he reminds me of Travis, where he can just get open in the field. Like he just knows where to get open on the field, and that's so
Hmm.
important, right, for any type of quarterback, right? And yes, the Cardinals. I know they were the Cardinals, right? And they're probably going to move on from Kyler, right? But whoever goes in there as a quarterback is going to have is be blessed to have Trey McBride as their tight end because he's going to make it so
Yeah,
much easier for you, especially on third downs.
it's a great safety blanket, man. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, just look at what Jacoby did. Like, there's a reason why he was targeting him.
A hundred
Like,
percent. You know what I
yeah,
mean? 100%. So
yeah,
yeah, it's funny the top two, and I figured the top two were going to be similar, right?
yeah.
And I looked at Pitts. I'm like, do I put Pitts at two? I'm like, I have to. He was durable. He finally stepped up. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like obviously, we're not
There's
going to be
nobody, yeah, there's nobody else that stood out except for
nobody,
him.
right? And
Like,
obviously, like McBride, I sat there. I'm like, all right, like ain't nobody going to touch him at number one, right? If anybody was
yeah,
healthy, right? And next year's gonna be a different story, right? Kittle's healthy, hopefully. Brock Bowers hopefully, right, healthy, right? Like those are going to be different individuals. But yeah, those are our top five tens tight ends this season.
yep.
We're going to five receivers. I'm going to start with number five, and it might surprise you. I have George Pickens at number five. Uh,
Oh, actually, that doesn't surprise me. I have
right?
George Pickens at number five.
That's 93 receiving yard, 93 receptions, which is the
Yeah.
lowest among receivers, by the way. Still had to 1,429 yards and nine touchdowns. I'm like, I sat there, I'm like, and the biggest thing is when CD Lamb went out, even when CD Lamb was back in, he was thriving in that offense, right? I think
Hmm.
George Pickens had a great. His attitude still needs to be worked on because there was a couple plays where he quit on. Right, I mean that's fair, but like production wise, George Pickens had a fantastic season. What and this is what he could have been in Pittsburgh if they used him correctly.
I totally agree. He was phenomenal, man. Like him and CD was a lethal combo.
one Hundred
And
percent
like he had a great quarterback to, get him the ball, Dak Prescott. Um, yeah, man, like he had a great season. I
agreed.
I would like to add I have Christian McCaffrey at six
You are
because
funny, dude.
he was on the it was weird because I was looking up like yardage and receptions, and he was on that list as well at like
Yes,
six. And I was
yeah.
like,
You know
what?
what's funny? I had McBride at six, but I'm like I
Yeah,
can't put my number one tight end in there.
right, yeah, see, yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean? I get you.
insane. It's
At
insane.
four, I have Jamar Chase. I
Hmm.
think Jamar is at four, 120. I think 125 receptions, 1,412 yards, eight touchdowns. The reason why I didn't have any high, the reason why I put him in my top five, and the reason why I didn't put him any higher is this: he played with a bunch of different quarterbacks, specifically Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco fed him, but like. He still put up a fuck ton of numbers. Like it's Jamar Chase, but I think pound for pound, he is, in my opinion, right. Once again, if Joe Burrow is healthy, top three wide receivers. But Joe Burrow wasn't healthy this year, and that makes an impact. So I put him at four.
Yeah. My four was actually Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Oh,
1,401 yards, averaged 82 a game, 11 touchdowns. Well, 11 receiving touchdowns, a couple rushing yards in there as well. But like,
yeah,
yeah, big focal point of the offense. He's the guy in Detroit. I thought he had a great season. Yeah,
100.
obviously not as good as Jamar. I
No,
and I have Jamar at three because of
you're funny. I have St. Brown at three, so we flip flop three and four. So that's funny.
well, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my preference is Jamar over Amon-Ra, the way I
And
see
that's
it. Yeah.
100. Yes, if we're looking at it pound for pound and impact, yes,
Yeah.
I think right. But I think just in that offense, right? I know they got J Mo, and they got Jameer Gibbs over there, right? But like, I think just in that offense, it does not go without St. Brown. And trust me,
Hmm.
I still think right. St. Brown had a lot to put on there because when Sam Laporta went down, I think that changed the entire offense 100% in Detroit, right? I think that
Hmm.
took a lot of. It took a lot of right. Oh, we have to guard now Sam Laporta. Now it's like okay, well, it's double team or shadow St. Brown, right? So I think
Yep.
if Laporta was there, I think St. Brown's numbers are even higher in my opinion, right? And that's why I put him at three, right? I looked at it, but you're right. I think those it is, right? I think number two, I think we both. I think one and two, I think are going to be the same, but at two, I have Puka, right? I have Puka at two.
Oh,
I have
dang.
192, 18 yards, right? 1,718 receiving and 10 touchdowns, right? I just, yeah, he's huge. He's a great receiver, right? But I think JSN is my number one. I think.
Wow.
JSN's just breakout right this year, and not necessarily a breakout right. I think right, and I'm assuming you have it flipped. I'm assuming you have JSN two and Puka one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did.
that's what I figured.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. And I don't hate that. I do not hate that whatsoever. And I think it leaves good room for argument. Puka, I think, yes, is that big body receiver, right? That can go and make those catches, right? But man, JSN's route running is just so smooth, man.
I no, and I agree. I actually really like JSN. His route running is amazing. He has Sam Darnold versus Puka, who's got Matt Stafford.
And
Like
that's what I
it's
keep in consideration too. It's just like Sam Darnold's throwing JSN the ball, and he did that much work too. Like
yeah. And some of the catches, well, honestly, some of the catches both of them made because they're both
oh
like
oh.
insane. Like they have insane hands, man.
Absolutely. Like that
It's
touchdown that he had in the NFC Championship, Puka had in that nasty route that JSN had right before halftime, right? To go down the field for like 40, 50 yards. I'm like, damn,
yeah,
like Tom Brady was just, he did an awesome analysis, right? He was just like, the thing I love about JSN is like when he moves, his shoulders always stay level. They don't dip, they
yep,
don't dive. He always stays. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that. Like that is so important. JSN does it honestly just as good as all the top receivers in the league. And yeah, I
yeah.
think this is breakout season. Yeah, and maybe I'm riding the hype train of the breakout season. I can definitely say that. But like, and once
For
again,
this season, yeah.
right, and you're right. Like Puka has had consistently right 2 3 seasons like this, right? So yes, 100%. Like I can see right, and I sat there. I'm like, it's a coin flip for me. I honestly really think it was a coin flip from this season, right? But it also right, it's 10 less receptions, more yardage, right? Same amount of touchdowns. I'm like, JSN, and I get it, right? Like the Rams have a better number two in Devontae Adams than the Seahawks do. You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that is like it's a lot. That probably took a lot of targets away from Puka per se.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think, and they're both durable. They're both pretty durable wide
That's
receivers. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yep. Like I said, yeah, it's close, man. Like they're both amazing. It's kind of
Oh,
crazy how like the top five receivers changed like the landscape of it because now it's
absolutely,
like Justin
absolutely.
Jefferson, Stephon Diggs are kind of like not in the mix anymore. Maybe Justin Jefferson more so because of the quarterback, but like Diggs, Keenan Allen's not really up there anymore. AJ Brown,
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
like
mm-mm.
it's very interesting, man. I like seeing
Right, Nico
new
Collins.
receivers
Right,
get
was
love.
that man? He would have been in my top five if that man could stay healthy for once in his effing life. You know what I mean? Like,
I
to stay healthy, bro. To stay
I know.
healthy. Like,
He needs a better quarterback too, man.
oh
Oh.
yes, we'll get CJ, fucking CJ. Anyway, but yeah, I think our receivers are pretty on spot with those, right? I think our top five was pretty much the same, just different positions. Going
Hmm.
into running backs, this was a fun one for me. I think I like this position a lot. I have
Yeah.
at number five Jameer Gibbs. Um,
Yep.
243, rushing attempts, 1,223 yards. I think it was 13 touchdowns, 77 receptions, 616 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns. I think one fumble loss. Jameer Gibbs, we know what he is. That man, and the reason why I put him so low is like I should even put him low. Like I could have put him number one. Just the impact he had. It's just his speed is insane. But like I think the other four running backs are just better overall in just the scheme of like taking contact hits and stuff like that. And I think once Montgomery leaves, I think Gibbs's numbers will skyrocket. I will honestly. I have Gibbs in the near future breaking 2,000 yards at some point. Like I know this would be a high feat to do, but like that's how
He could do
good.
it.
I think he could definitely do it because of his speed. And you know what I mean? But yeah, Gibbs is at five for me. I just the production was a little bit down, but I can't really say that when the Lions just have a freaking high-powered offense and all the weapons they have.
That's yeah. No, I I actually have Jameer one spot up. Um,
Fair.
for a lot of the reasons that you said, like this was kind of the year where he did get a majority of the carries. Not
Fair.
obviously not everything, right? But you're right. As soon as Montgomery's gone, like he's probably gonna break out. Um, but yeah, I mean, 1,223 yards, um, average 5 yards per carry. Like that's insane. And and to top it off, like your center retired. I think they lost like a guard
Right,
at
right.
point
They
during the
had they had they
season.
had
Like,
injuries and stuff like and to still do that, and you lost your tight end. And Laporta, we
and
know is a great receiving tight end. He's also a great blocker as well. So like to still do that, I can see why you have him at four. Who do you have at five then? I mean, who do you have at five then?
I have Derrick Henry, 1,500 yards,
Mm.
1,595 yards, scored 16 rushing touchdowns. I didn't
Yeah.
even notice it was that many until I searched it out and I was like, oh my God, like he actually scored 16 touchdowns. Like this is insane. No Lamar,
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm
no
interested who
Conley.
you leave out because Henry was six for me.
Henry was six.
I have the rushing leader. I have James Cook at four.
I have James Cook at three. Yeah.
I'm so interested, but yeah, yeah. So like, I got James Cook at four, but like, you're right, Derrick Henry. I sat there, I'm like, do I put him in there? Do I put him in there? But like,
He has to be, man. 16 touchdowns.
I,
He matched James Cook with touchdowns, man.
that
Oh,
yeah,
almost
that's
by two, by two.
almost by two, right? But I put up there because 1,621 yards, 12 touchdowns,
Mhm.
291 receiving. I think, but I just felt like when Lamar was there, Henry wasn't being utilized, right? And that could be a whole coaching shit. That's why they fired their coaches and stuff like that. But like,
Right.
I'm looking
Yeah.
at it. Allen had a down year. I still have him. When we get to our quarterbacks, I still have him in the top five, but he had a down year. And James Cook carried a lot of that load. Just to your point, too, right? Henry did the same thing when Lamar was out, too. So 100,000%, I agree with you. I'm looking at it and being like, and it was hard for me, right? Four, five, and six was really difficult for me.
hmm
But then I'm interested who you keep out there, and that's really interesting because who do you have at three? Oh, who do you have at three? That you said James Cook at three.
And James Cook is at three.
I have
The
Jonathan Taylor at three.
who did you leave out, or who did you throw in? Because Jonathan Taylor's my number two, and we all know who number one is. Like
I have
that's
Bijan Robinson at number two, dog.
you have Bijan? Are you
Bro,
serious?
first of all, I'm
Oh
actually
my
biased. I'm a
God.
Bijan lover, so like I'll give some bias, bro.
Oh
But
my
okay,
God.
right. So you have Jonathan at two, right? I have Jonathan at three, right? 323 rushing yards, 1,585, rushing yards. Sorry, 323 attempts. It's almost 1,600 rushing yards, 18 touchdowns. Crazy amount of touchdowns, man. 46 receptions, 328, two touchdowns, one fumble. I think you're right. Like, hell of a fucking season. And honestly, once again, Daniel Jones don't go down, he might be the league MVP.
Exactly. Dude, he was considered for MVP at some point in the season.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
and the same thing for the guy I have at number one, which is
Which
CMC.
I've seen C number one, so even more.
Yeah.
That's 100%. But Bijan, right? 287, 1,476, seven touchdowns, 79 receptions, 820 receiving yards. One person had more than him as a running back, and that was CMC, right? Nine touchdowns, three fumbles lost. Like, I sat there and I really looked at this. This was the hardest top five position for me. I'm like, but
This one was a tough one, yeah.
like I said, I'm a Bijan. I've loved Bijan since he's coming to the league, but
Yeah.
like, I can easily 100% see right Bijan out, Derrick Henry in. I can 100% agree with that, but like, I just, Bijan had almost had 1,000 receiving yards, just like McCaffrey did. You can't discredit that.
It's tough.
It's
I
tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Like I mean, I don't know, the 16 touchdowns for me was kind of insane. So I was
That's
like,
fair.
you
That's fair.
kind of have to throw that in. Like it
You're
was
right.
like I would say the locks were James Cook, JT, and CMC.
100%. 100%.
It
100%.
was yeah, it was really just Jameer.
Yeah. And
I
CMC, right?
thought about Bijan. Yeah.
Right. CMC, 311 attempts, 1,202 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, 102 receptions, 924 receiving yards, seven touchdowns. And here's my big thing: zero fucking fumbles all season.
Yep. Zero injuries too, by the
Zero
way.
injuries. I mean, they
17
sacrificed their
games
team. They
played.
sacrificed their entire team to the devil for that. But anyway,
Oh, dude, that's so
but
crazy.
you're right. I think CMC once again proves to you why, when healthy, he is the best running back in the league.
Oh, for sure.
When
Yeah,
healthy,
when
keyword,
healthy.
when healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
fortunately, he was healthy this season.
Right,
Um, Sucks they didn't win, but that's okay.
right. It is okay. And then lastly, going to our quarterbacks. This one was tough for me. I was all over the place for me, man. You know, I, Didn't I put Caleb at like 7, so Caleb's almost there for me, right? Like I know you might put him in there, that's fine. But at number 5, I know he gets a lot of flack, but he did a lot with that, and he had the best offense at one point. I put Dak Prescott at number 5 for me. You know what I mean? 67 completion,
Wow.
right? 4,552 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 picks. You know what I mean? I like Dak. I know he doesn't win the big games, but like he produces a good offense. He does sling the ball around a lot, but like he had a good season, all things considered.
I have Dak at 4.
Oh, you have him higher than I do. I thought you were gonna call me crazy for having Dak at 4.
Nah, I don't think you're crazy at all. I always argue, man, like Dak is actually a really good quarterback who's just like unfortunately he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. If if he was on another team, if he was in San Francisco, he'd probably go to a Super Bowl. Like we'd be
Yes.
talking about him very differently.
Who do you have at
Um,
5 then?
I have Trevor Lawrence.
Oh,
So
T Law was 6 for me.
T Law, 4,000 yards passing, uh, 341 completions, 60% completion percentage, touchdown, 29 interceptions, 12. Um,
That's not bad.
all things considered, like he had a really good season, man. And under his first year, he got 30 touchdowns,
That's
almost
fair.
30 touchdowns.
That's no, that's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
At
Um,
4, I have so like yeah. And I looked at T Law too. I sat there. I'm like, I want him in there. Like I want to put him in there right there. I think he had 12 wins this year.
yeah.
Yeah, 12 wins.
Dude,
So like they had a great season. And you're right. Under his first year head coach and they struggled, but then he found his rhythm and like they started taking Scott, flew. They flew.
was he in consideration for the MVP?
I don't
Like,
believe so at any point.
I thought he was.
You may be right. I don't know. But
Uh, no, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I was just saying, like, like I said, you have him at 5, right? I have Dak at 5. At 4, right before we get on top 3, I have Jared Goff at 4. I think Jared Goff had another great season, man. Like, I can't hate Jared Goff. Yes,
I
he's a
don't,
lion. You know what I mean?
yeah.
4,564 yards, 68 completion, 34 touchdowns, 8 picks. The man had a great season again, right? And he didn't have his tight end, no center, and an injury like a ton of offensive lineman, and he still put up those numbers.
I didn't have Jared Goff. I think he was the one that I was like flipping between T-Law. Like I was kind of in between, but I definitely could see it. Dude, they didn't even have that with no Ben Johnson, he still put up those kind of numbers. Like
Right,
that's imagine when they finally get an offensive coordinator that knows
right,
what they're doing.
right,
Um,
right, right.
yeah, at 3 I had Sam Darnold, and a lot of it is kind of recency bias.
That's
Um,
fair. I can see that.
right. Just
100%.
considering, what he's done this season, 4,000 yards, 323 completions, 67% completion percentage. 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 99 passer rating. Like he's he's a pretty good quarterback, man.
He was good,
He's
sorry, to cut you off. Like he did it with Minnesota with a completely
right,
different freaking offense, and he went to the Seahawks, and he's in the Super Bowl.
right. This is like more of a run heavy offense. Like it's not air it out Minnesota. Like
Right,
this is completely
right.
different. Like
Agreed.
and he's in the Super Bowl. Like yeah, he's got to be top 5 right now.
At 3, I know it's because maybe I just like him. I have Josh Allen still at 3. Like I know his passing numbers were down. I mean, he's throwing to plumbers. Keon Coleman's a bum. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
69.3 percentage, 3,660 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 picks. But he ran 14 touchdowns in, man. That's
that's
almost
huge.
that's 39 total touchdowns, right? And he ran for 579 yards. Like that is the reason why I put him in the third spot, right? Like is because I'm like, all right, this passing numbers are 100%, but like he still had another 14 touchdowns. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
massive. You know what I mean? I think our 1 and 2 are pretty much. I think I know where our heads are going. As much as I think they've had the weakest fucking schedule ever in the league, Drake May as at number 2 for me. At
You're a hater,
72%.
man.
72, right? Like 4,374, 31 touchdowns, 8 picks, but he had, 4 rushing touchdowns. I'm not a hater once again. I think he's great. I just think he has been carried a lot by his defense towards the half end of the season. Like I was looking at like the team that they played. Of all the teams, 10 of the coaches of those teams got fired this offseason.
I like I can't shit on Drake May. I you
Fair.
you can only play the teams that are in front of you,
Which
and
we talked about last week. So like
r-
I agree with you. I agree with you. And going into
right,
this going to the postseason, even though he's put Trent Dilfer up numbers, go look at Trent Dilfer's numbers. He did play the one rate defense, I think the five rate defense and the seventh rate defense. So like he's played
three top five
defenses.
defenses
So like
back to
I will
back to
give
back.
got the job done. So I 100% get it right. So I have him at number two, and then I think number one is Matt MVP, which I think you might. I don't know if you
Yep.
agree with two and one with me.
Yeah, no, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt
Yeah.
Stafford. 4,707 yards, 65% completion percentage,
Mhm.
46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Bro, that's just
Uh,
dumb. He almost had 50 touchdown passes. Like, and I'm
yeah,
sitting there and people like, oh, Drake, man, I'm like,
no,
the stats
he,
speak for themselves. Hold up, hold
yeah,
up, hold
yeah,
up. Like,
he
and
hasn't touched, yeah.
not even touched that yet, right? And once again, like, yes, schedule you play was in front of you, and we look at it, the Rams had a lot harder schedule than the damn fucking, they played the
Way
Seahawks
harder.
three times. They played the Niners, who always play them tight, right? Like, the Rams had a tough schedule, and Stafford stepped it up, right? And I'm sad, like I said, I like Stafford, and I'm really sad it didn't win on last Sunday. But I think I think Stafford is going to win the MVP. He's going to win his first MVP of his career, and I think he's going to solidify himself as a Hall of Famer with that MVP.
Oh, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually kind of a good segue into the next topic.
Which is yeah,
Um,
our last topic for the day, right? Is breaking down, talking just a little minimal about the championship games and our Super Bowl right prediction and picks, right? Obviously, right, that game in Denver was ugly, which we thought was going to be ugly as fuck. Right, we both picked Denver to win, and listen, if Bo Nix plays that game, I'm sorry, New England, you get your ass spanked.
they win. Hey, if it doesn't
Spanked.
start snowing the way that it fucking snowed,
Spanked.
they win.
which proves which our point, right? That's how good Denver was, right? But New England won, right? Drake May had a good game rushing, right? Like he had a good, but he only had 86 passing yards. But once again, the weather became a monster fucking blizzard out there. You know what I mean? But he had I think 76 rushing yards or something like that. Like yeah, it's
Yeah,
65 rushing yards,
looks
right?
like,
Like in a
yeah.
rushing touchdown, right? So huge, right? So once again, we knew it was gonna be a defensive battle. I think we both still picked Denver just because of the defense, and it was 10-7. It was there. Sean Payton, take the fucking points, bro. Take the points next time, dude.
I agree. Yeah. I know analytics are gonna get blamed for this, but I will say analytics said to kick the field goal in that particular situation. So
With the backup QB, bro.
with a backup QB. Yeah.
Damn field goal.
When you have a backup QB and I know you're at home, but like it's not Bo Nix, man. And especially the play call, I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, why is that? You give him one option and that's
What was
it.
it?
Like, yeah, you don't give him a chance to make a play. Like that's I don't know.
Agreed.
Take
Agreed.
the
Agree with you.
points.
Agree with you. Agree with you. 100%. Right. But yeah, congratulations to New England. It sucks that you only had 5 down years of not a quarterback, and now you have another quarterback that's going to be good, which is sad
That was
face.
like 2 years.
Nah, fuck them anyway. I'm a New England fan. They're my AFC team, right? But fuck them, right? But going on to the other game, which was a more exciting game, right? I saw a meme where it's just like Roger Goodell's going to cancel the Super Bowl and just have a best 2 out of 3 against Seattle and the Rams.
Hell
Because
yeah.
what
That's
a
what we
hell of a
need.
game, right? 31-27, right? Sam Darnold in the biggest game, and everyone's like, Darnold doesn't fucking perform, had the same amount of stats and touchdowns as the league MVP this year is going to be, right? Over 300
Hmm.
yards, 3 touchdowns. Boy came to ball, right? What a game. What is that? And yes, right? Everyone's like, oh, Seattle has the best defense, let up 27 points. Divisional game. They see each other the third time this year. They know how to play within each other, right? Like, I'm not worried about that Seattle defense, right? But like, what a hell of a fucking game, man, that NFC Championship was.
Yeah, Sam Darnold stepped up in a big way in that one. And just it's kind of funny like looking at his career and where he was last
Oh,
year, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Loses to the Rams, and I believe the wild card round. Um,
He gets spanked, I believe, right?
yeah, just gets obliterated. Like those previous two big games, the one against Detroit for the division, and then
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
that game in the wild card. Like from that leading up to this season, right? The two games against the Rams doesn't play well, and then this last game, man, he just like he showed up, man,
He showed up.
in the biggest stage. So
Yeah. And you know what's gonna be, and you know what's funny, awesome, right? And as we go into our last segment, right, as we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl, like then 49ers give up on him too. And what is hilarious is if he goes in there, he could win a championship in the 49ers stadium, which would be absolutely fucking hilarious, right? Which speaking of that, I do think, right? I do think Seattle Seahawks win the Super Bowl. I think they get the job done. And it's not right. I'm not sitting here and saying like, oh, the Drake May. No, no, no. I just think I just think right. If I'm looking at the teams, Seattle's a more well-rounded team. And you know what I mean? Yes, to be at a neutral site, but it's all gonna come down to can Drake May protect the ball? And the reason why I say that is he's gotten lucky playing CJ and his defense turning over the ball because he fumbled 4 times that game as well. And CJ just couldn't fucking capitalize it, right? So if Drake May keeps the turnovers down and is smart with the ball, I can 100% see the Patriots winning this game. But I do think, right, Seattle's going to make it. And my big matchup is JSN versus Christian Gonzalez.
Oh yes, I'm glad you said
I'm
it.
so pumped for
Yes,
that matchup,
that's
dude.
gonna be amazing.
Dude,
I
Christian
know.
Gonzalez is the top, possibly the best corner in the league, and is against the best receiver in my opinion this year. Oh,
Yeah,
I can't wait for that matchup because I think that's where it's going to come down to, honestly.
yeah. I know that's gonna be insane. Let's not forget they got Carlton Davis on the other side as
Ah,
well.
fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair
Yeah.
enough.
So, um, I've been wrestling with this one all day. I I do want Seattle to win, but let's not be dismissive
So you're
of the
not.
Patriots,
So you're not.
especially with Mike Vrabel and the way that he the way that he manages a game. By the way, he should be coach of the year. He is the coach of the year, in my opinion.
I think. Well, I think it's be him and Seattle coach right now. It's between them two.
I could, man, but they probably already locked their votes, right? It's
I think so. Oh, yeah, because usually it should come out
like this
this Sunday,
Saturday.
this Saturday or Sunday, right? That's when or
Yeah,
yes, the week before the Super Bowl. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. It's like I said, at the end of games, at the end of halves, like Vrabel is just like spot on. Always knows when to use his timeouts. Knows when to
Hmm.
throw a challenge. Like he's just got the game management part perfect, and like he's looking for these like small margins to just like to get an edge over you, you know? And I think
Hmm.
he can do it against like he's gonna find it against Seattle, right? Um, especially
Yeah,
like that.
and I agree with you. I think that first half is going to be like a slow 10-10, like just let's figure each other out, and then the second half is to come out slugfest, right? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm also cheering right for the Seattle because the safety and Julian Love, right? I've met him, right? Like that's he's an awesome guy, right? He's a Chicago guy too, from Nazareth, right? So like, I'm
Mm,
really excited for him, right? It's hopefully win, right? You know what I mean? But like, also just Sam Darnold's story, like Drake May's only 23, right? Like he has all this, but like Sam Darnold, right?
yeah.
First overall pick, just with the Jets and going through all these teams and all stuff like that, and now possibly finding his home, right? And I just really want him to win a championship, and also it would be awesome for him to win a championship in that draft class, man.
It's a great story, especially
Yeah,
because he's the only guy in his draft class to make it to a Super Bowl. Like, considering who they have, Josh
considering
Allen,
right,
Baker, Lamar, like, so insane. But,
insane,
but I think I am gonna pick the Patriots.
fair.
He's runner up, or he probably is gonna finish second in voting, for MVP voting. Drake
Hmm.
May
Hmm. Hmm.
still he hasn't put it together, but the defense is playing outstanding.
I agree. They've locked it up. And I
Mm,
was looking at the statistics in the last like 5 games to the playoff. They're playing at like a crazy, and I'm
it's an
looking at this
insane
game too.
level.
Like I'm
Yeah,
looking at this game too. Like I think maybe it's the first of 20 or 23, and that's the game.
yeah. It's a coin flip. This really is a coin flip. Like I think I think people are gonna the public's really gonna be on Seattle, but
I
like
agree. I agree. But I don't think so. I think I agree. Like I know they opened up. Oh, I think they opened up as a 4.5 favorite, whatever it was, whatever 4.5 favorite. But like
yeah,
I think what you're saying too is just like you can't really count out the Patriots because they win. Like they win games, even though like you said, you play in front of you and they play the top five defense and they're about to play another top 10 defense too. Like it's gonna be a great run, but like to me, it's gonna come all down to the defenses. Can the defense hold the offense, which I think they can, and I think my circle matchup is Gonzalez versus JSN, and more importantly too, like can you stop Kenny Walker? Because Kenny Walker can go off at
that
any
was
moment
mine.
too.
Yeah, that was my matchup. Because they do have Christian Gonzalez. They're number two ranked passing defense in the league. I think it's going to come down to Kenneth Walker. Can they slow him down, or is he going to take over and just,
Agreed.
explode?
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
this same thing with Sam Darnold. Can he replicate what he just did? This is another big game.
Now is this now right? That last week was your biggest game of your career. Now this is the biggest game of your career because you know what? Like we talk about this, right? Going back to the Super Bowl is never guaranteed,
Yep,
right? This could be the only
exactly.
Super Bowl for both these quarterbacks, and people are like, "Oh, what? Joe Burrow made it when he was what 24, 25,
Yep.
and he hasn't made it back
He hasn't
since,
been
right?
back.
But that guy can't. That guy's been in a wheelchair in a year anyway. But anyway, moving on, right? Like you know what I mean? But you're right. Like it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a coin flip, right? And like we knew, right, that Vrabel's a good coach. We knew that he was going to make a difference, as Ben Johnson was, right? We talked about this multiple times. They were our 1-2 in our coaching, right? If we hired Vrabel and Ben went to Drake to the Patriots that Drake made, we would
It
have been
was
okay with that
fine.
too because
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel is that dude. But I think, yeah, I think you're taking the Patriots. It was a coin flip for me too. This is a completely 50% matchup for me, right? Like, I really
Yeah.
think so. Like, and and these teams have played in the Super Bowl before, right? Last time was right when Brady beat them, right? Because Pete Carroll's a moron, didn't run it with Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line, run the
Do
dang
they get
ball
the
right this time.
revenge?
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think they do get their revenge. I think they want that win. They want that. You know what I mean? And I think just it's gonna be a fun matchup. I think, yeah. I think Seattle. I think Seattle by 3. Right? It's not gonna be a blowout.
No.
I hope it's not a blowout, right? But I think it's going to be another. I hope it's not like last year, right? 40-22, but that was an ugly game. I think it's be a close back and forth game. And you're right. I think I can see the Patriots winning because of Vrabel's coaching at the end. But
Yeah.
I just think at the end of the day, Seattle's just a more well-rounded team, and
I
that's why
agree.
I'm giving it to Seattle.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
I could see. I could see it. I'm telling you, it's very close. We'll
very very
see.
close.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens in
I'm
2 weeks.
excited. I'm excited. But yeah, that is
Yeah.
our episode for episode 25 of Monsters of the Mike. Thanks for checking in, and we will all see y'all next week then.